Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we're going to make a birthday card for my son, and I thought you might want to see how I design a card. So first thing I did was I chose my pattern paper. So this is my first tip when you're making a card. Look at your paper if you want to use pattern paper or cardstock and figure out what you like first. And I start with the pattern paper. I love this this paper by Bo Bunny. It had a lot of different numbers on it, so I figured I'm going to punch or cut out the 1 and the 9 for 19. I also like this paper here that was kind of like a diamond plate design with Phillips screws on top and gears and stuff. I thought that was kind of masculine and fun. And my son works at a lumberyard, so I figured he would like that. And then I wanted to have something that was birthday-ish, so I figured I would use this cupcake layering stamp from Stampin Up. This is probably discontinued, but there's so many companies that make layering stamps. There's like a million cupcake stamps. I'm not exaggerating. So you can truly find a stamp that will, that'll work for this. Dig around in your stash. I'm sure you got something. And so now I'm looking at the layers and the colors I'm going to want. And so I'm looking at my paper to get my color cues. So I think orange and blue would work really well. So I'm thinking blue for the wrapper. So I've got 3 shades of blue for these different layers. I was thinking orange, so I've got 3 shades of orange for the layers here. And then for the candle, I've got 2 shades of green. I'm taking green from the paper. Green's also in that paper. Both of these papers are by Bo Bunny. They're not from the same line, but you can see they're going to work together. They have a very similar feel. And then I've got just a warm yellow for the flame. Now you can see that I have like 3 different brands of ink here. They're all dye-based ink though, so feel free to mix and match your brands. I know sometimes people will, get excited about a new line of ink and they go out and buy all the pads, but honestly, if you've already got dye ink and there's another line of ink you're interested in, just buy colors that you don't already have. And that's a great way to test out the ink line and also make what you already have more versatile. If you just keep buying the same colors in different brands, you're really not doing yourselves any favor. You're better off to just get a re-inker for the brand you already have. I mean, really, there's nothing new under the sun. I mean, you may prefer a foam pad versus a dye, like a felt pad, but that's personal preference. So once you've determined what kind of pad you like, the ink is essentially mostly the same, and a lot of the inks come out of the same factory. So, so just kind of, just want you to know that. All right, so I've got 1 stamp block, really, that's all I need. I'm trying to keep my stamping a lot similar. Now here I can see what the stamp's going to look like, and I can see that I actually made some masks the last time I was using this, which is super handy. So anytime I make a mask, I save it and I put it right with my card. So I might actually use this little window mask. I completely forgot that I had done that. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is stamp the, I think I'll stamp the top. Actually, I don't really have to. They all fit together. I do have masks, but I don't think I need to use it. I'm going to start off with the wrapper. And this is up to you, but I personally like to begin with the lower layer, the layer that's got the most coverage, so that way I can, I don't know, for me it just works easier for me. That might not be for everybody, but that's how I like to do it. I'm going to put my smooth cardstock down, and I reuse my scrap paper. So I'm a real crafter, Not saying that anybody else isn't, but I don't know. I don't feel like I need to put on any airs for you guys. All right, so this is the biggest layer. I'm going to ink that up with my light blue. That's what I was doing. Yeah, I'm doing blue for the wrapper. Sometimes I forget what I had for an idea. Give that a good stamp. And I'm going to do this right in the middle in case I decide I want to use the background. Give it time to transfer. I'll just clean that off with my rag and put it right back on the index sheet where it goes, so that way I don't get confused the next time I go to make this stamp. Pick that up on my mount, and I'm going to use the medium color blue. It's kind of I would say like a tealy ocean color. Now, if you don't have enough colors of ink, what you can do is you can ink it up, stamp it on a scrap, and then re-ink it like that. I'm getting a lot of beading there. I don't really like that, so I'm going to actually test that out. Yeah, I don't like that. So what I can do is just kind of wipe off this. And this is weird because I've used these stamps before, but sometimes an ink might be juicier. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rub this with an eraser. This is a photopolymer stamp. It's not a silicone stamp, so I don't really want to file it with an emery board, and I think that should do the trick. Wipe off any debris and try that again. Could just be this ink pad is super juicy because I haven't used it very much. There, see, it's sticking so much better. All right, excuse my head because I'm gonna have to put my head in there to line it up. There we go. It's not perfect, but I think it's fine. I get a little water on my rag there to clean that up. And again, I'm going to put that right back on my index sheet, right where it was. The next layer is going to be my darkest blue. See, I set it down and then I pick it up with my mount, and that just, for me, it just helps keep it lined up. Like I said, I'm not, whoops, that's upside down though. Ha! Silly. Make sure you get the textured side up. And hopefully that's actually darker. I can actually test it on my scrap. Yes, it is, I can tell. Yep, that'll be darker. But I did get a little over inking there, so I want to be careful when I ink it up that I don't get ink where it doesn't need to go. Now, even if your shades of blue aren't perfect, like this one's a little bit more of a true blue and the other ones are a little bit tealier, since it ink's transparent, you're going to see those other layers through, and excuse my head. Since you're going to see those other layers through, it really doesn't matter that much. There, that looks cute. And again, I'm going to clean off my stamp and put it right back on the index sheet. And we're going to pick up the big cupcake top. This is the lightest layer. It's going to be the one that that's under everything, and I'm going to do that in a light peachy color. Using a combination of Gina K, Hero Arts, and Memento. They all work. I would say they're all pretty much the same. Again, head in the way, sorry. This seems just kind of like putting it over the top. I'm just going to give this a second to let the ink transfer from the stamp onto the paper. And now I'm going to clean that off. Grab the next layer. I think once you are cool with like not everything being absolutely perfect, you're going to have a lot more fun stamping because perfection can be a drag. I'm going to hover that right over. I'm going to stick my head in the way and feel very self-conscious about it. Oh, that looks so cute. I do like that. I do like these. I know I complain about them. I'll complain if I mess them up with the last layer. And then I'm using this really dark kind of, it's called Morocco. It's kind of like a dark orange, kind of reddish orange to get those darker shadows. Color combination you don't often see in birthday cards. And head in the way again. But I really don't want to mess up this last layer. It's not perfect, but I think it looks passable for sure. All right, now we're going to get the candle. Now let's see which one. This one's the base layer. Sometimes they can be tricky. I'm going to line that right up on one of the lines on my mount there. Make sure I have the right side up. I'm going to do this really kind of soft green, and then I'll do just a slightly darker, brighter green on top. You know what? I'm going to stick that mask down there. Ink that. Oh shoot, wrong color. Wrong color, but you know what? I am going to hit that with the eraser too because it did seem like it didn't want to. I feel like my ink wanted to bead up on that. There, that's better. And I want to make that a little bit shorter, so I'm going to... That's where a mask comes in really handy if you want to change like the height. And of course, if your ink is too dark, you just stamp it off once, like on scrap, and then stamp it back. I find, especially with like long, skinny stamps and sentiments, setting it down and then picking it up with your block keeps you from bending it. So that could be really handy. This one doesn't, actually, it doesn't look really darker. That looks too light. I think I'm going to need to grab a darker green, so I'm going to do that right now. And I'm just going to go right over that. All right, again, I've got to put my head in the way because I need to line that right up. There we go. Oh, that looks cute, I think. And then, last but not least, we have the little flame, which we will do in yellow. Generally, I would go with a smaller ink mounting block, so I just have to be real careful that I don't get ink on the outside of the mount. There, super cute. Okay, and there is our basic stamped stamped circle. So if I want to, I could do a little bit of ink blending. That might be kind of cute. And you know what I think would be really cute? To use a stencil, and I'd love to use a Starburst stencil. So let me find my Starburst stencil and we'll do a little ink blending. I think that would be really, really cute. Before I ink this, I'm actually going to make a mask. So what I'm going to do is take a Post-it note, and hopefully it will be thin enough. I'm trying to get as much on the adhesive portion as I can. So I'm just going to set that down there and then just trace around it. And that's really handy when you're doing the layering stamps, especially when you've got to build something like this, because it's, you know, every time you build it might be a little bit different. So this is just a really good way to get a nice mask. And I'm going to cut it out slightly inside of my lines because I find that it just works a little bit better if I kind of don't have that gap. And look at that, you don't even have to make anything too extreme. And I'll want to ink with one of the colors I've already used, preferably one of the lighter ones. And I'm thinking it might be cool to maybe do like it two-toned, or do like use the oval to do one color, then, you know, put the reverse mask in, or put the mask in, that's a stencil, put the mask in afterwards, and then do another color. I thought that would be kind of cute. So see what I mean about cutting it slightly in. All right, so now I think what I'll do is tape this down to my scrap paper, just with a little bit of tape. I'm going to do this on the edges where it's not going to end up on the card. And actually, I'll tape my stencil down at the same time. This is a kite stencil from Judykins. Try to get it so the center is right where the cupcake is. I think this is going to be cute. We'll see, right? I think it's going to look really cool. All right. We're going to put this mask on top first. And let's see, what color do we want to do on the inside? Maybe we'll do like that light orange color on the inside, and then we'll do the like blue or the green on the outside. I'm going to grab my blending brushes. And so I'm going to go for the color that's closest to the orange, or I'm just going to go with my warm, I think I'll just go with my warm colored brush. There we go. I just kind of brush it off, make sure there's nothing too gross on there. So with the smaller ink pads, it's not ideal as far as inking up, but it's fine. Okay, I'm going to put my finger right on the center there, and I think I'm going to come in from the outside. It's a much softer look when you use a blending brush versus using a like a foam. So if you're using a foam, you might want to go, and you want a light color, you might want to go just a little bit lighter than what you're anticipating wanting. And they do make stands to hold your ink pads when you're doing this. Like if you need to have one hand on your stencil, or you can't use both hands to craft for whatever reason, and those would be really handy, I think, for in that event. Actually, it wouldn't be bad, just so you can keep one hand on your stencil. But taping it down is really going to help you in that event, like we did here. And you can just keep building until you're happy with the amount of ink that you have down. I think my kiddo's going to like this. I mean, I don't think he's going to get too like excited about any card, to be honest. But I think he's really going to get a kick out of this. Okay, now I am going to remove this. I'm going to put the circle in its place. And let's do green? Yeah, let's do green. Grab my green brush. And let's do this light to green color. Load it up real good. I hope I'm afraid I might have a halo on this. Maybe not. I think it's exactly the same size, but sometimes when you blend, you just get kind of like a you'll get kind of like a little gap where the ink doesn't go. Try not to move that stencil. I had just a straight Starburst design stencil, but it's a 12 by 12, and I thought, ugh, that's going to be really unwieldy. I'm not going to have enough room to do that on my desk. Yeah, I can see I'm going to have a little halo there, but I'm not going to worry about that. This is fun. This is a fun card. I like to make, I mean, I do always have cards made ahead of time, but honestly, I love making cards like for somebody as they're needed. Let's do this. Actually, no, let's do that middle blue. I think that was really pretty. We'll add some of that from the outside. We'll see how that looks. I'm going to switch to my blue blending brush. These are from Amazon. They're really inexpensive. I think they even have better sets now than they did when I bought mine. But it's like, no, Lindsay, enough's enough. You have enough blending brushes. You do not need to go and get that other set that's just so beautiful. You do not need to do that. You have enough. You can blend till the cows come home because you have the blending options extraordinaire. Us early adopters miss out, you know, because it's like, oh, you buy the first ones and you're like, oh shoot, I wish I waited because some better ones came along. Oh well. Okay, and now let's see what we have. I'm thinking I might want to put the stencil back and like rotate it and see if I can and do like yellow or something. I think that would be really cute. You do not want to get ink on the card. Actually, on the outside it'll be fine because that's going to be trimmed off. Okay, so first thing I got to do is clean off this stencil, though, if I want to use yellow, or I'm going to contaminate my ink pad. I'm not even sure if they'll line up perfectly. I can't remember if the stencil does. But if it's yellow, it shouldn't be a big deal if it goes where I don't want it to. All right, very important to clean the ink off the stencils. I'm going to leave that tape on there. I think I can use that tape again. I'm going to flip this page over. I'm going to just do one more wipe down of the stencil. I'm going to spray this with a little bit of water. Most of my cleaning process is just water. Or maybe a little baby shampoo or something like that for my stamps and whatnot. Okay. I think that's clean enough. I think that's fine. All right, so let's see if this will line back up. I'm going to set that paper aside here. Work on a fresh sheet. I think this one might. Just turn it so that the blades cover up. Oh, I think it is perfect. Look at that. That's gonna look nice. Watch, I won't have any room for any of my pattern paper because I'll be so thrilled with my inking. I don't know, it's a pretty small stamp. I think that maybe do a little more tape just to be sure it doesn't move on me. Okay, so let's use yellow. Now the only bummer is that it's going to be behind the yellow part of my candle. I think it'll be fine though, because I think you stamp it, it's much darker than when you ink blend it. But then again, it can also look like the candle is radiating out happy birthday vibes. I like to especially make custom cards for people, because a lot of times I give gift cards as gifts because I don't know, I just don't want to like give people clutter, and sometimes I think something's really cool but it's not. You know, it's like I think that's a really cool idea for a gift, but the recipient might not agree with me. I have odd taste. Yeah, I think that's it. I have just strange taste, and I just want what I get them to be well received and not, you know, clutter for them. I do want to go like to get a little more ink up there. I might need to use a smaller brush. I could use a smaller brush. I'll do it. Let me remove the stencil. Oh my, this wants to stick, of course, because I've got tape all over it. I'm just thinking that might show. So let me use, I usually don't use these tiny brushes, but I think I'll try it right there in case I just want to trim it in case that shows. I don't think it will, but there. Now let's see. Let's remove our mask. Oh, that's kind of cute. Oh, and there is like a stamp of sprinkles. Let's get that. Let's find that. That might be kind of just cute just to kind of throw around it. Now where's my little flame go? Yeah, I don't want to lose any of these pieces. It's very easy to lose the layering stamps, I think, because especially if they're clear, there's so many of them. Oh, I don't know if I want to stamp that there. I'm gonna have to think about that. I might stamp some things there, but you know, I don't think I want the sprinkles. They're too packed together. So we will table that for the time being. Now let's trim this panel. I think that's kind of cute. I think it's gonna be cute. I don't know how much. I was gonna trim it into an oval, but now I'm thinking that a rectangle would be better. So this is gonna go on. Well, right now I'm planning on it going on a A2 size card. So let's see, an A2 would be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. What I end up usually doing is just kind of like trimming, and then trimming a little bit more, and just kind of like figuring out what, you know. Not very scientific, I'm afraid. Well, let's see, I have about that. I'm just trying to see how much space I have on that side of the, trying to make it in the middle. I like those colors. Now let's see, what if I had that? Oh, I think I need to I need to try a little bit smaller, but boy, that's pretty even. Oh my gosh, I gotta wash my hands. I'm gonna get ink everywhere. I've already got some on that card base. So what I do in that case is I flip it over and work on the other side. All right, so I'm gonna trim that down. I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm gonna trim that down a little bit more and trim my pattern paper to matte under that. I'm going to stamp the sentiment in that Morocco color because it was just that kind of darker red color. And I'm just stamping a simple happy birthday. And I will trim this strip out when it dries. I just used the back of a scrap there because it was, you know, pretty thick cardstock. It didn't bleed through. And I want to add a little shadow under this cupcake, so I've got some grays, a cool gray 40, cool gray 20, and cool gray 10. I'm going to start with the 40 and just kind of, that might actually be all I need. Actually, I think I might grab a really pale tealy blue color and kind of fill in this edge a little bit more too here. Just don't be afraid to add more in anytime if you want to. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Go a little bit darker. Might want to test on this scrap. I'm going to go a little darker with that gray. That gray's not really dark enough. Let's see. Here is cool gray 50%. Let's try that. That's a little bit better. I can blend that out with a 40, just kind of to give it a little bit of weight. Now let's take this. Give me some room there. And then you can use a paper trimmer for this, but long-handled scissors work pretty good. I'm leaving a long tail because I want to use some brads, and I'm going to notch the ends, so I need to have a little space for that. So to notch the ends, I'll actually use my shorter scissors. I'm going to cut in like that, and then cut in from the corners. Do the same on the other side. Cut in from the corners. And then I'm going to poke little holes, and I'm going to do that with scissors because I don't see my little pokey tool. I think I put it away, but that's fine. I can make my holes right there. And I'm going to use these little screw top brads because I think they kind of go with the backing paper that I'm going to use. Well, you know what? I will get my paper piercer because I need to make holes through there. You could ink up this paper strip if you want to, but where I've got so many colors there, I think this will stand out a little bit better if I don't. Especially where the text is not black. The text is, I need a big hole in that. The text is that kind of orangey color. Ideally a little round like a 16, then the hole punch should be good, but I don't have those in here. My hole punches like that are in the room of hoard, you know, the storage space. And I don't want to run all the way over there for that. Sometimes, you know, you just make do. Oh, and I bent that. That's all right. That's fine. And by putting the brads in through this sheet, I don't have to put it through so many sheets of paper. It's just a little bit easier. All right, we're going to mount that on there. Does that look nice? I like that. I'm just going to hide those brads. And that's the other thing. It also hides the brads so it doesn't go into the middle of the card. Actually, it's very hard to line that up because on that black mat I gotta put it, I think I'll put this, oh my goodness, I'm gonna put this on the, oh, that side of the paper's pretty too. Let's zoom out a little bit. Make sure that's reasonably even. Could have been a little evener, but there. Now I want to get the 1-9 from the paper. Oh, gosh, that's just cute just the way it is too. I mean, really, you wouldn't have to do more. You could actually fine line that if you wanted to with a black pen. That's cute. Well, let me just see. Is my 1 and 9 going to look cute? I think it will, though. I want to use a circle cutter to cut out the 1 and the 9, so let's do that. I'm going to use my Creative Memories cutter for that. Do you have one of those? They're from like back in the day. But I like it because I can go at any point on a piece of paper and I can cut it out. That says my baby's turning 1, so I'm going to use a bigger size cutter so I get the 1 and not the outside part that says my baby is turning 19. That's my baby to my sweet baby boy, all grown up, off to seek his fortune in the world. How did that happen? Mini therapy session with your cards. What do you think about that? There's the 1. Now we got to do the 9. That one I think I'll do with this medium size. These cutters are great. You know, they really are. Some things are just classic. I'm sure there's probably similar tools by other companies. This is what I have. I like that. Okay. I'll just set this aside for right now. And then most of this paper is undamaged. I can use that for another birthday card. Okay. 19. Oh, I love it. I'm just going to put that on. I think I might use foam squares for that. I've got like so much crap on my floor, guys, as I like climb over things to get things out of my drawers. I think I'll use thick foam tape on that, and I still have my thinner foam tape I can use on that one, so I get a double dimension, a double lift there. This is cute. I don't know how fast this card is. I thought I'd make a quick card. I have no idea how long we've been crafting today, but isn't it fun just to hang out and just get your mind off things, make a little card. Just chill for a bit, you know? Take your mind off things, guys. Take your mind off life for a while. Make a card with me. I like that. I'm wondering about the fine lining though. I think I kind of would like. You know, maybe I'll take that adhesive off. Remember, still working on those foam squares, guys. The OG, my OG friends know what I'm talking about. Like when I reference the yellow foam squares, they're still here, guys. All right, I said that's how I'll know when it's time to quit YouTube, is when I run out of those foam squares. I think I'm going to do some white highlighting, and then I'll decide whether I want to do any fine lining. I've had my Inktober bag with all my like very fast sketching supplies. Oh, that's where my white pen's been living. I don't know if I want to fine line. I'm torn, guys. I don't know. I'm actually going to go around the outside of the candle with that. Ooh. I don't feel like that was really, I guess it's flowing. It's probably just because it's on yellow. It's not a lot of contrast. And the nice thing about fine lining, if you do decide to do it, I'm not sure if I'm going to or not, is that you can, if you have like something maybe not lining up as nicely as you wanted it to, you can kind of fix it. But honestly, gee, I think I kind of like it the way it is. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I think this is really cute. I'll probably take a scrap of paper and maybe make a little pocket on the inside for a gift card or gift cards or something. I like to do that because, like I said, it's hard to buy gifts sometimes, and you know that will always fit, right? And there you have it. Thank you so much for, I kind of want to fine line it though. What do you think? Should I fine line it? I don't know. I don't want to mess it up. Well, let's just try it. I can always make another one, right? I can always make another one, and through the magic of editing, you guys never have to know I mess up. I'm just totally kidding. I would totally fess up to messing up. I fess up when I mess up. I fess up when I mess up. I think it actually, you know, can make you feel like, hey, it's all right. World's gonna go on. Lindsay can mess up. It's no big deal. I can mess up too. All right, I'm using the Winsor & Newton fine liner. Actually, you can use whatever you want, but what I like about this is how long and tapered the point is. I can see, where I'm holding the pen normally, I can see where the tip of the pen is. And sometimes, you know, the end of the pen can actually be in the way when you're trying to outline something. I wish I did this before I put that white on there. Also, don't be afraid to grab a marker if you've got like a gap or maybe your things didn't line up just right. Grab a marker and you can line it up. Now, honestly, I'm thinking that I liked it better without the fine lining. But I don't think it's tragic. I think it's fine. I think I liked it better before. But I still think it's all right. You know? I'm gonna touch up my colors a little bit though. I'm gonna grab a little bit of orange, a pale orange. I think this color's about right. Yeah. I like this pastel set from Artix. In fact, I can always go in and put white highlights, so. And alcohol marker won't mess up the fine lining. I'm gonna make sure it's dry. I might not have let it dry quite long enough. I should have just grabbed this whole. Should have just grabbed the whole marker thing out, but yeah, I think that's all right. I think that looks cute. That's a cute birthday card. I don't know. What do you think about the fine lining? Should I have left it alone? Maybe. Who knows? It's cute. But see, here's the thing. You can make a choice. I'm not going to say a mistake. I don't think it's a mistake. You can make a choice in your card and think, I wish I didn't do that. But then, you know what? The person receiving the card never saw it at the stage before, so they don't know. They're just going to say, oh, that's a great card. They're not going to be like, oh, you know, I wish that was an outline. No, they're not going to know. They're not going to care. Adding a little more shadow there. I think I would like it. There we go. I think it looks good. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this fun craft with me session, and I hope it inspires you to go and make a card. Thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up before you go, and until next time, happy crafting.